to the mistrial in the Bill Cosby sexual assault case. Minutes after the judge made his announcement, the prosecutor said he and his team are getting ready to put the comedian on trial again.
And the judge setting a pretty tight timeline, but the big question, can they pull it off? ABC's Lindsay Davis, who's been covering this trial from the start for us, joins us with the very latest. Good morning to you, Lindsay.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. Just to give you a little bit of color from inside the courtroom, when the judge made that announcement that this trial was going to end in a mistrial, it was rather quiet. I think that this was the outcome that at that point a lot of people were starting to expect. But I'll tell you what really did elicit some response in the courtroom, some gasps even, was when the prosecutor's office announced that they plan to retry Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby raised his fist in victory Saturday after arriving at his Pennsylvania home. The legendary comedian walked out of the Montgomery County Courthouse a free man for now, greeted by chants of both scorn and support. After more than 50 hours of deliberations, the jury of 12 hopelessly deadlocked, prompting the judge to declare a mistrial in Cosby's sexual assault trial. The jury, 7 men and 5 women, included 2 African Americans. As the judge announced the jury was still deadlocked, Cosby leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes.
Having 12 perfect strangers deliberate on your fate has to be a strain the likes of which I can't even imagine.
A Cosby representative read this scathing statement from Cosby's wife, Camille.
How do I describe the district attorney? Heinously and exploitatively ambitious. How do I describe the judge? Overtly arrogant and collaborating with the district attorney.
The district attorney had a fierce statement of his own, immediately announcing plans to retry Cosby.
We're going to retry the case. I said it in court. There was no pause or hesitation about that, and we're moving forward.
He says he's doing it in part because of the resolve of Andrea Constand, the woman at the heart of the case, who claimed Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted her in 2004. Cosby claims the encounter was consensual. Constand's attorney released this statement on her behalf, saying in part, "We are confident that these proceedings have given a voice to the many victims who felt powerless and silenced." The judge reminded the court that a mistrial is neither vindication nor victory for anybody. He also says the timeline for another trial would be within the next 120 days.
There definitely will be difficulties in finding jurors who won't have heard about the case and the evidence. But the question becomes, can you find jurors that will be fair and impartial?
So with this mistrial, it's almost as if this trial never even happened. Bill Cosby is still out on bond. He still faces 3 counts of felony sexual assault. And the same judge who oversaw this first trial will oversee the next one. Dan and Paula.
And Lindsay, it's pretty ambitious of the judge to want to try Cosby again within the next 120 days. But how much of a financial burden will the retrial put on taxpayers there in Montgomery County?
You know, and that's a real question because on top of, everything else, they also had the added burden of bringing in this jury from the Pittsburgh area, putting up in hotels, et cetera, for 2 weeks. And when the district attorney was asked that question at the press conference following the trial about how he would respond to potential critics of the cost, he said, "You can't put a price tag on justice."
It's pretty extraordinary they want to try to pull this off again within 120 days. But Lindsay, we want to say extraordinary reporting on this first trial. We know you're going to, you got your work cut out for you with the next trial as well, but great reporting.
Got to do it all over again.
That's right. Thanks, Lindsay.